Video Tutorials by Andrew Buckle. In this video I'm just going to show you, and I'm using Photoshop CC 2014, but you can do the same basic approach in other versions as well. I'm going to show you the Camera Raw filter and the way of adding grain using that. Now, just got a background image here which I can just go over to Filter and Camera Raw filter, and just come up for a few seconds, it'll come up with a dialog. Now this is one of the things, applications, mini application within Photoshop. It's got a whole range of different options, so you can tweak the temperature and modify exposure, make it darker. And I actually quite like to add a little bit, just change highlights. But the key thing here for adding grain, not that bit, is the effects. Just go over there and you'll see the grain option. Now you can actually, obviously by default there's no grain, so you can actually just see the grain there. Now there's a size option which is very, very subtle in its effect. Frankly, I think you'd have to use, well, I must admit I can't see much difference. There is a subtle difference, but it's very subtle. And now you've got roughness, so you can go down there, which creates a nice uniform grain, which is really quite nice, but I don't want that. I want actually a roughness to the grains. I've got that grain there now. Okay, so again, reduce it down. With all filters, I think sometimes it's actually best to actually apply it very minimal and then apply it again and again sometimes, but depends what you want. So click OK. Now, of course, you can apply it to a layer. So I've actually got this image there, so I can actually go to duplicate layer. So I'm just duplicating that layer, I'm not creating a new layer. So that's there, and I can go again back to that filter. I can go into that filter, modify again the grain. I can maybe create a slightly different grain. Now I've just brought up the wrong one. I actually wanted the Camera Raw filter. So filter, Camera Raw filter, and it'll come up again. And again, like I say, you can tweak the exposure, make it a bit darker, maybe different shadows, clarity. I actually quite like the slightly blurriness it gives it with the clarity. But or you go the other way to really emphasize the grain, actually modifies that. So again, FX for the effects, and then modify the grain, go for different settings, gain roughness or more uniform. So I'm just going to go for more roughness there. Click OK. Now, as a layer, of course, you can actually apply blending mode. So you can actually turn around and say which ones work. Multiply. So multiply creates a nice sort of darker image there. Very nice overlay. Right, once you've actually decided on that, of course you can go back and change it. You don't have to keep with the thing. Of course you can apply multiple layers, so you can have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different grains which can all be modified and layered. Of course the filter is still there, so you can actually decide, just go filter and just apply the last filter. And that will take a few seconds. Creates a slightly darker, and this is one thing that I quite like to do, is go through the Camera Raw, and you can actually create more and more added grain, and you can decide, obviously at any point, decide go back, I don't want that one any further. You can also apply obviously other effects, so you can actually blur that grain, so you don't have to keep it as, so you make it slightly, or maybe. So once you've actually decided that, then you can again, let's say, decide, look at multiply, overlay. Yep, I think that's nice. So layer and flatten image. And again, you can still go back again into the Camera Raw and add more grain to the image if you wish. Or you can use the blur tool maybe just to blur some of the grain in different parts, or maybe darken some of the grain. Hope you found this of interest.